Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Wake up, get going. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you are ready for 3 days worth of pro wrestling news and punditry. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Tuesday to get a little tickled to talk some pro wrestling punditry. It's EJ Cameron. EJ, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Good morning, Nick. How you living? Happy holidays. Good to see you looking sharp. You back?
Thank you. Got a haircut. You're always looking great. You're always in incredible shape, EJ.
Sure.
Yeah, right? You still boxing? You still taking boxing?
I didn't this weekend. I took some last weekend, and my trainer saw me and was like, "Hey, come spar for 2 rounds." And all these heavy, intense fighters turned and looked at me. I was like, "Oh, I don't have my mouth guard, and I gotta go."
I don't have my mouth guard is the dog ate my homework, right?
So. Oh, yeah. He was like, "No, come on, you're good." I was like, "I got to go act later. I shouldn't."
Yeah. No, that's good.
All my teeth are still here, so.
Pretty sure Second City appreciated the fact you showed up with all your teeth in your mouth.
Oh, they really did. They were like, "Thank goodness." I would have had a black eye coming in like, "Who wants some comedy?"
Hey, EJ, we told you to show up and spit fire tonight in the improv set. We didn't think you'd be spitting teeth and blood as well. So
you say tomato, I say zucchini. Let's do the show.
Yeah, right. So, all right. Well, we got a ton of news to get to here. 3 days worth of news here from the site. Of course, because it was July 4th weekend, so we had yesterday off. We did have a show. We are going to also have the first part of my conversation here later on in the show with the former Arturo Ruiz from WWE, real name Adrian Jaud, he's been competing under that name again. He was supposed to be in the Diamond Mine. That he got pulled very last second. He spent 6 years in WWE developmental. He is a world-class badass, 17 years undefeated freestyle wrestling in Brazil. Was going to qualify for the Olympics, which we get into here in part 1. So, really interesting conversation, and I think we're going to play part 2 on Friday to kind of wrap the week up. So you're going to get part 1 of my conversation here today with Adrian, and we will dive in the mailbag at the end of the show for everybody. We're going to look at tonight's Great American Bash, but before we get to anything else, really sad news I wanted to address up top here, and we will also have some other sad news in just a moment. But Terry Funk, it's been reported by a couple outlets, including PW Insider, Dick Murdoch, I think. Anyway, Terry Funk is reportedly suffering from dementia. And as a huge Terry Funk fan, I just wanted to send absolute best to Terry, all his friends and family. What a credit to the business. And I am very sorry to hear that he is in the state that he is at the moment, EJ.
Yeah, I hope he bounces back and he does better. He's in a very specific class of him and Ric Flair. I think they're the last two of these legendary dinosaurs, and I mean that in the best way. So I hope he bounces back and feels better. Prayers and hope and well wishes to him and the family.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's get to it here. The big breaking news that you can use, news will leave a bruise of just this morning, man. I had 3 days worth of news. I thought we were going to be talking, and we are going to talk a lot about Zelina Vega here in just a second, but man, right off this morning, TMZ reports Jimmy Uso arrested for a DUI again. He was pulled over on Monday around 10:35 p.m. Eastern in Pensacola. Police say he ran a red light going 50 and a 35. The records show that during subsequent questioning, officers smelled alcohol on Uso, then asked him to exit his Dodge Charger. Police noted that Uso was swaying, and he admitted that he had consumed multiple beers before getting behind the wheel. He then failed a sobriety test or tests, was arrested. Police say Uso's BAC breath test came back 0.202 and 205, well above the legal limit of 0.08, 3 times. That's bad, right? That's a lot of booze. Anyway, Uso was booked on the misdemeanor DUI charge. He is currently he's incarcerated as of this moment, it sounds like. He's got a $500 bail. This could be he could be being held for 24 hours due to the nature of his charge. The jail records indicate he's being held in a tank, which I've been in, and we can talk about if you'd like. He has also received citations for speeding and running a red light. This is Jimmy's second DUI charge in the last 2 years. He was also booked for similar charges in July 2019, also in Pensacola. A jury later found him not guilty in that case, despite police video that showed him swerving and stumbling during the arrest. He was also arrested earlier in 2019 after allegedly getting into a drunken dispute with police in Detroit, which I believe Naomi was present for, his wife. And now, lastly on this, just before we went on the air, WrestleVotes reporting that at least a few high-level people in power at WWE extremely disappointed and legitimately pissed off at Uso for this latest arrest, saying this many times isn't a mistake or bad luck. It's personal judgment. That is not good. And it goes without saying that Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns and Jay are embroiled currently in the top storyline and arguably all of professional wrestling at the moment. So I just got to spit a lot of words out. EJ, where do you want to start with this one? What's your reaction to this news breaking this morning?
Goodness, man. I feel like we've reported on this already the last time this happened. This is very disappointing. To sum it up, I hope he gets the help he needs.
Right.
He clearly needs to go to rehab, DDP yoga, whatever the case may be. But this many times, this happening, you're ruining your career, your health. Yes, Will, you're absolutely right. He needs to get some help immediately because this can go any way. He could have hit somebody. Mm-hmm. That's awful. Hey, you're in one of the biggest spots working-wise. Like, let's say selfishly working-wise, you're in this situation where you were just in the main event. You and your family are the main event, the biggest deal. The whole point of the storyline is showing how you're not ready to step into this place. And then in real life, you are not ready to step into this place. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know what sort of suspension. He just came back from his knee injury.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And I see our good friend here, Polio Del Mar, saying this isn't personal judgment. It is alcoholism, which is a treatable illness. And it absolutely is. And, you know, for all of WWE's faults, blind spots, whatever you want to call them, which still exist to this day, they have a pretty open door policy when it comes to helping their talent get treatment and working with them. And so I'm with you. I hope Jimmy does take it from WWE, get this treatment, go in, take some time away from TV. I don't know if the stress of everything is going on or, you know, whatever, you know, it's an illness, right? And like, if you haven't taken the time to really address that or accept it, it's not going to go away. And that's the bottom line here for Jimmy is, you know, he's got to take some accountability here for this. And if you're Roman Reigns, I mean, you got to be very unhappy in this moment, you know, unhappy, disappointed, sad, melancholy, the whole gamut of emotions here. Cause it's family, but it's also like it's like, is Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman a good at a comparison where it's like we're trying to get stuff done? I wish you'd show up to practice.
But he would still show up.
He would. Yeah, I was about to say Dennis Rodman won multiple championship. Yes,
it wasn't like DUIs. Like, this is embarrassing and just a damn shame. I remember when they made light of it when the first one happened a while back. They were like, "Oh, ha ha ha, the Usos, blah 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 blah. Don't let them drink and drive." And everybody kind of chuckled and moved on. And then it happened again, and it was like, oh, this isn't funny. And it's happening again. I don't know who he's hanging out with, who his drinking buddies are, or what's going on. And this friggin' Uber.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I can afford to take a Lyft or an Uber, right, across town, I'm pretty sure Jimmy Uso can afford to take a Lyft or whatever to go to the bar, come back home. That's all, you know, that's all very possible, right? But you lose your job. You get to point two, man. You lose your judgment and you're making bad decisions. And you're right. Like, who is around him facilitating this right now? Who's like, yeah, Jimmy, you're fine. Or maybe he's not. I don't know.
Well, bartender's like, all right, have a good drive, buddy. I know you have a history.
Well, I see a lot of comments here. Samantha here saying, unfortunately, look at Jeff Hardy. WWE keeps giving him chances, but Jeff is good. Jeff's cleaned up his act. He's like a dad.
Yeah.
Right? I think music is his vice now, like whatever kind of
and mowing lawns and stuff. Like, yeah, they're giving him chances, and I understand why they're giving chances. Just because I feel like before WWE was a place where if you had a problem, they were like, "Get out of here," and then you get a really unfortunate story about them later. So I think they know that they need to put in the work. And also, he's a family legacy act. Like,
right.
he needs to go get the help. They need to put him in the help and get him right. If he doesn't want to, then, then maybe they got to let him go.
Yeah, and the thing about, while we're talking about Jeff Hardy here, I really hope, because they haven't done to Jimmy like they've done with Jeff, where like everything Jimmy does is like tied into the fact that he has a drinking problem, right? Because they've done that well so many times with Jeff. And like my biggest complaint about it the last time around when they did it with him and Samoa Joe was it just kind of trivializes this issue, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't come across as something you're taking seriously when you're making jokes about it and working it into a storyline, right?
Exactly. And I don't think this is one of those, because we talked about, they did that before with this situation. I don't think this is one of those where they can, because it makes it seem like it's okay. They're like, okay, let's take this thing you're doing and turn it. And it's an easy flip. Roman can be like, dude, you're a mess. Get out of here. I always knew that you couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Well, and Dino here saying, I also hope that Naomi does not become collateral damage due to Jimmy's actions. The eventual feud with Bianca on Smackdown is needed. Yeah. Just Roman, Jay, Naomi, like everybody in that bubble, like I can't imagine the gamut of emotions you're running today as you are both angry and upset and also worried about how this could affect your trajectory in the company. Very sucks. Sucks. So let's see here. That's okay. That's enough for the Jimmy conversation at the moment. Went a little long on the Jimmy talk. We're going to move on to some other stuff here. But if you have more thoughts, please jump in the comment section here. The comment section, very lively. We'll continue to pull your comments onto the screen here. Let's get to another topic of conversation that courted a little bit of controversy as well. Zelina Vega returned to WWE on Smackdown. Smackdown saw Sonya Deville bring her back, introduce her as the next Women's Money in the Bank competitor for Smackdown. Vega played the heel, cut a promo about how she's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, cash it in. She was interrupted by Liv Morgan, who was upset about not getting a spot while Carmella and Vega have just been given them. Fair. So she ended up having words with Vega and then slapped her. Morgan begged for a match. Deville granted it. The fairly short match ended after the referee caught Vega trying to roll Morgan up with a handful of tights. Morgan then took advantage, also did a handful of tights, but behind the ref's back, she won. Vega seethed at the loss, tried to go after Morgan. Referee stopped her. Post SmackDown, Vega tweeted, "What to take from tonight? I'm back. I'm going to be in Money in the Bank ladder match. I will win, period. Everything else is irrelevant." She also has since deleted her "I support unionization" tweet, along with another one where she acknowledged having a powerful conversation with SAG-AFTRA. PW Insider saying, despite Vega's late 2020 release, there were some in the company that didn't agree with the move. Those within the company pushing for an open line of communication with her, and WWE executives, I guess, apologized, and she eventually agreed to a new offer, with each side coming to a compromise. And my favorite note at the end here, an understanding of both perspectives. Now, you had something else from this kind of grab your attention as well. What was going on here, EJ?
Oh my goodness. So apparently she got into a weird beef with Dave Meltzer. She had a tweet that said actual footage of dirt sheet writers trying to think of the next lie to post about me with a laughing emoji.
Sure.
And Dave Meltzer, somebody has a recording that's like 2 minutes and change of him saying, this is effing stupid, or calling her effing stupid. Saying, I don't think that's fair that she says all the dirt sheets. That's like me saying all the wrestlers are on drugs. I'm chopping this up and splitting it. You can find it on Twitter, y'all.
I got you.
She just replied and tagged him, saying, "Hey, Dave, instead of name calling, I'll ask you to please point out where I said all dirt sheet writers," end quote, in that tweet, or would that make you aggressive and nonsensical argument invalid? You can keep your respect, as I lost mine for you when you started tearing down and degrading women in the business for no reason. I wasn't referring to you, but if you think the shoe fits, that's on you, with a waving and smiling emoji.
Wow. Yeah. Dave gets into a lot of stupid fights anymore. And I don't know. I think it's more intriguing that Zelina kind of got into it with him than the fact that Dave decided to shoot his mouth off the way that he did. Look, I don't take it personally. I know that this isn't a perfect business, the pro wrestling journalism business. I just do my best to do it correctly and not fall in line. If she wants to take shots, whatever. All politicians are not evil, but some are, and you can paint with a broad brush. It's easy to do sometimes.
And she's not the first wrestler to make a comment like that. I respect the fact that she tagged him and was like, I'm talking to you, buddy.
Yeah.
I like that energy. Also, I love her promo. It was very nice to hear her back on the microphone. And hearing her, I was like, oh, she's infinitely better than a lot of other people on the microphone.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, and I like that she came back and didn't immediately get the win, right? Kind of one of those things I feel like WWE does in these situations. Like, if you're coming back after having been with the company, like you're not immediately you're gonna have to kind of like maybe reprove yourself or find your spot or show you could take a loss and bounce back from it and use that emotion to create something more interesting, whatever it may be. I thought it was just a really good return. I liked the booking. I thought Liv looked good. I hope this leads to them both being in Money in the Bank. I agree. And Phil here saying, do you think she got more money? I don't know, EJ. You think she got more money?
I think yes and yes. I think she got more money. And I would like to think that she gets to keep a Twitch something, like one of her own personal endeavors that was already making her money to keep making more money. Because the beef was that she couldn't have that or her OnlyFans. And she was like, I'm an independent contractor. What do you mean? So I'm hoping that this is their understanding on both sides for both perspectives. But
so here's the thing. So the deleting about the unionization stuff and the talking with SAG after, it hurts me a little bit, right? Because it means that like savage capitalism has won yet again, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like genuinely when I read this line about how an understanding for both perspectives, we understand that you got upset because you thought you could make more money doing this thing, and then we fired you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pay you more money, meeting your understanding and meeting our understanding. You're going to stop talking about unionization because I'm guessing if I had to go out on a limb, there would be some speech about how it would be very harmful for the company to have to pick up all of these expenses for medical insurance and whatever else may be. And whatever, took the money, ran, deleted the tweets. It's just, it breaks my heart when it comes to thinking about how there was a chance there, a moment in time where it seemed the map had been laid out there. There was information that was made public. We have right now a new National Labor Review Board head, thanks to the Biden administration, so that the board that shot down, Leslie Smith's claim 2 years ago wouldn't be in place, and that was the UFC attempt at unionization. It just really, there really seemed to be a moment there, and I don't want to like poo-poo Zelina Vega, whatever, make your money, live the dream, but I feel like she had a chance to really be a leader and a voice there and could have done some real good, and instead, savage capitalism wins, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, you could feel because Nick Hausman said so.
I guess so. Savage capitalism, right?
You could feel, yeah, because there was a moment I was like, oh, change is coming. There's more talk. The fact that they're talking about SAG-AFTRA, which is mainly for actors, towards wrestling, I was like, oh, cool. There's change coming, and now it's halted. So even to where I'm thinking, okay, she's going to get paid more. Maybe they said, hey, you're going to win Money in the Bank, and we're going to put the strap on you one of these days. If you come back and chill out, isn't that your dream since you were a child? And then you're like, oh, man, I don't really care about unions. I want to be the champ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we have Samuel here. Sup, Nick and EJ. Happy she's back, though, and like the storyline with Liv. So good. More positivity. And also coming out of SmackDown here, the feud between Bayley and Bianca, it looks to be set to wrap up in Money in the Bank as the two faced off in a segment, and then Belair challenged Bayley to an I Quit match at the pay-per-view. Bayley accepted. The title's going to be on the line, and Bayley made some statements about how she'll quit SmackDown or WWE if she isn't able to pick up the victory here. So into the road, it would seem, for these two, EJ.
Yeah, this seems like it'll be a good blow-off match for the both of them. I love Bayley said, I'm going to quit and leave WWE and leave SmackDown. I don't think she will, because her character seems like the type that would just renege on that immediately. But I think they're really good dance partners together.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, moving over to Raw. Man, the first Raw item here is like a kind of a WWE AEW crossover story here. We have a little bit more WWE stuff to get to here, but man, couldn't ignore it. another top item coming out of this morning's news. AEW star Big Swole made what I guess we're considering a controversial tweet after her husband, Cedric Alexander, was pinned by Jackson Riker on this week's episode of Raw. Swole posted a photo from the movie Dolomite Is My Name, in which Eddie Murphy's character says, "Brother, don't nobody want to see shit like that." In her caption, Swole referred to Riker as, quote, Lil Hogan, and said nobody wanted to see Alexander getting pinned by the former Forgotten Sons member. The heel team of Alexander and Elias lost to Riker and R-Truth. At the start of the match, Truth joined the 24/7 title chase, leaving Riker alone in the handicap match. Soon after, Elias then walked away from the match, and Riker caught Alexander with a tilt-a-whirl side slam for the pinfall victory. To you, EJ, thoughts on the tweet and what happened here on Raw?
I think she had every right to tweet that. I thought that was so weird and stupid. I thought they were moving Cedric into something after that program with Shelton. He won. I thought we were going to get primetime Cedric, but I guess he's just back to floating around. And we get to see Shelton chasing the 24/7 title, and Hurt Business is two people and a gaggle of women.
Yeah.
It's all stupid.
It's bad, man.
Sunshine.
Dude, I cannot wait to see what the numbers come back for last night's viewership. I cannot imagine last night's show. Dude, and it's like the Monday after July 4th. I mean, I was going out. You were going out. Our priority was not Raw last night, right? It was like the end of the weekend. Also, like, you know, I did a Stu Murick's radio show and a couple other appearances recently where Riker's come up. And I've told everybody the same thing. I'm like, this guy is not going to get the reaction they think when they put him out in front. I think it is a fool's errand to expect Jackson Riker to be. I mean, what's to like about this guy? He's a psychotic, sociopathic murderer. You know, there's nothing lovable about Jackson Riker, you know, unless you maybe have a compound in West Texas or something, you know, like I don't see the appeal. And I think what, you like that one? I'm from Texas.
Yes, compound in West Texas is a wild statement. I was like, yeah, I know exactly who that is.
Dude, I grew up in Tejas, dude. I know the audience here for Jackson Riker. I know what that lane looks like, okay? And it ends in West Texas, all right? And I don't see it. I don't get it. I think that Big Swole labeling him Little Hogan does him no favors. I could tell you this is getting passed around like wildfire this morning. And, you know, I compared him to Hogan when I was talking to other people. I was like, did he drop the N-word? No. But did he unabashedly cheer on protesters that were peaceful and in Black Lives Matter Plaza? Yeah. So, you know, whatever. They brought Hogan out in Florida alongside Titus O'Neil. Guess what? Still got booed, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many markets there are for Jackson Riker to get over. I don't see it. I don't get it.
Yeah, they'd have to like repackage him, put him in a mask, and make him some sort of like muscle to somebody. So I could feel a little bit like, okay, cool. I didn't mind him being Elias's roadie character. I don't know why they quit that so quick, but yeah.
I think that there was just, you know, we're getting ready for live fans to come back. You know, I think they want Elias to be singing songs and doing that. And Riker, I think that, you know, I feel like it's just prideful, right? Vince is like, this is a guy, this is a man, this is what men are.
Look at his muscles.
Right. He's so angry. He's what Vince thinks a real man is. And if Vince is like, this is a guy I really like and respect, there have to be more Vince McMahons out there. I think he'll be surprised to find out less Vinces than he thinks. So,
yep.
Yeah. We have Steve Wilson here. This type of no direction booking gets nobody over. Riker is going to get buried once Life fans. I think so too. I think they bring him back. I think this guy gets nothing, and then they give up. Neftali Rodriguez, writer, has zero charisma. This is from Scott Ficca, very sarcastic. Push Riker, break up the Hurt Business. Genius. Ugh, anyway.
So good, yeah.
Burial of Riker. Timothy Smith, don't care about Riker. Dino Garofalo. Riker needs a repackage. Maybe Happy Riker. That's a good idea. Happy Corbin on the way. Polio Del Mar. WWE should put Riker out in front of audiences, being exactly who he is, to let it either sink or swim. And I think that's what's going to happen. Pollo,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
I think this nigga's gonna faint.
I get the vibe he is very much being authentically himself. Chaz, Button, Riker has the charisma of a wet blanket. Also, is he the heel or a baby face? It's a great question. It's a great question.
See, he can't be the good guy. He just looks crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll come back to if you have any more thoughts about Riker, but good on Big Swole, and good on her for. I can imagine Center be like, Vince, women are crazy, right? I don't. Me, no, Mr. McMahon. I disagree with my wife. And then he goes home. He's like, baby, I love you. You're like my favorite.
I hope that's the case. I hope he wasn't like, babe, why'd you do that? No, I'm really not going to win any matches.
No. I think Cedric might be playing both sides here.
He should.
Speaking of Raw, so Doudrop, Eva, Nia, and Shayna, they won this 8-woman tag when Nia pinned Nikki Ash. And PW Insider saying Vince McMahon is said to be a fan of Doudrop. He's super impressed with her. He wasn't sold on Eva and the Doudrop storyline at first, but he gave it the okay to move forward. He's changed his mind since. He noted that it's been noted that Vince loved it when Doudrop later stood up to Eva, specifically the facial expressions she was making. So I guess Vince turning a corner, the dynamic certainly seems to have changed from where they were week 1 to where they are now. I do like it better, but I don't know that I'm fully sold. What do you think, EJ?
You sound exactly how I feel. It's like I like it a little bit more, I think. I think it's growing on me a little bit. I like watching her in that match. It's something about her. She's always been a great worker and a fantastic talent. So I'm glad to hear Vince is more into it, as we were all predicting. We were like, Vince likes it, doesn't he?
Yeah. And were you surprised that Nikki Ash took the pin here? I was a little surprised that Nikki was the one to pin after 2 weeks of being built up.
Yeah, and being built as this superhero, and they're pushing Nikki Ash for the first time. Yeah, I thought anybody else would have been taking the pin. You can hear the announcers, the commentators be like, Nikki Cross, Ash.
Yeah, the announcer didn't really seem, but she's also almost a superhero. So you'd think it'd be 2 A's, but it's not. It's ASH, so it's a superhero. What I'm wondering is if the loss pushes her to go to like superhero training school, maybe then she comes back truly as Nikki Ash, just a superhero.
So she could be a superhero in training, SHIT. I would love that. Bring back the Hurricane, baby. She takes classes with the Hurricane.
Yes. Pollo Del Mar here saying, I hate it less, which is a great quote there, right? That's about, when they get her out in front of fans and she destroys Eva Marie, I think the fans will be there for her. The fact it's Eva Marie got like 8 weeks of vignettes, and the fact this story looks like it'll be paid off and done in 6 just seems weird to me.
Yeah, that's a weird ratio, if you will. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Obviously, they're gonna turn and they're gonna have them feuding with each other, and then what? She's just Doudrop on her own?
Yeah, and speaking of Doudrop, Lazy Monkey here, a new write-in. Doudrop, such a troll spelling of the name. Why they got to do her like that? It's a great question.
Why they got to do her like that? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, DEW, I think that's how you really spell do. It's more of a Doudrop with the OU. Doudrop.
I'm just ready for the Mountain Dew commercials with her.
No, Kristen Sane was only 3 or 4 weeks. I don't think so. I think those Eva Marie vignettes played for like 7 or 8 weeks. I'm pretty sure the Evolution went on for a while. You guys can go fact check it, but I think it went like more than a month for sure.
Maybe we're combining that with her last set of vignettes that she had before, and they're all one big. Our brains are turning to mush.
Lastly, here, PW Insider reporting NXT superstar Tegan Knox returned to the ring before Raw. She wrestled Toni Storm in a dark match. She is expected to be the superstar revealed behind the recent battery charger tease on NXT. The charger was up to 81% on Tuesday. It's expected to hit 100% tomorrow, revealing Knox, or tonight, I should say. She's been out of action since September 2020 after suffering another torn ACL, her third since 2017. Obviously, built-in feud there with Dakota Kai. I'm a Tegan Knox fan. I'm happy to hear she's on her way back, if this is all true.
Yeah, love to see her get back to action. I think she's great. Let's have them kicking each other, kicking the mess out of each other.
Yeah, kick the mess out of each other for sure. And lastly here, well, no, we got two more, actually a couple WWE items here, but these are kind of more minor notes. First of all, WWE's released a promo featuring Hollywood Steve Austin announcing Kevin Nash for his next Broken Skull Sessions. And this is also NWO week. Sean Waltman's going to be on The Bump live tomorrow in studio for those of you that want to tune into that as well. Good, cool. Got a lot of attention. I guess people just really like the headline Hollywood Steve Austin to see what you didn't really do that much different, but whatever.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, like the grainy pictures, and I saw somebody's quote was like, in some alternate universe, you get Hollywood Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, I wonder what that could have and would have looked like. I don't think, the black trunks already? Nah.
Yeah, maybe Steve could have had a better career, you know?
He would have been somebody. Man, that guy almost shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Could have taken it to that next level, I guess, you know? By the way, Dino here saying May 3rd is when the first Eva vignette aired, and they've been on TV for 3 weeks. So back into mid-June. So at least 5 weeks. 6 weeks, I'm going to say. 10 weeks.
What is time, y'all?
10 weeks. The U.S. Sun reporting that John Cena has indicated he's now more open to becoming a father these days. And Nikki Bella, happy for him. He made this news while promoting F9. There's sources saying that Nikki's very happy for them. Anyway, this got a lot of attention. And look, John on Total Bellas told Nikki, I'm willing to reverse my vasectomy to have children with you. This is not news to me. Nikki heard that news from John willing to make a huge sacrifice in order for her to have children, and then she went and started dating Artem. And I don't want to put heat on Artem or talk ill, but John, from what I could tell, was already willing to give Nikki children. This is not new news to me.
Yeah. I also love that after doing Fast 9, F9, he's learned more about what? Family. Because that's what it's about. I still haven't seen it. We got to go check it out.
Lastly here, this is from us. I have nothing. I'm like, I have no frame. I have no reference. I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. I have no reference.
What? Nah. Oh, we got work to do, buddy.
That's not. I don't want to watch these movies.
No, Nick, I don't want to hear that. I'm coming over.
No, I don't want to watch
all of them.
I'm not an action car guy. It doesn't.
Listen, you made me watch Bluegrass. You're gonna watch Fast and the Furious.
I did. I've made you watch Bluegrass on several occasions, so I guess we can, swap it out. All right. Lastly, here from the world of WWE, before we get to some AEW news, we exclusively reported over the weekend that Lex Luger, the WWE Icons documentary they made, didn't air on Sunday night. It was indicated to us the debut was delayed so they could find a more supportive and stronger lead-in program. No exact date on when this is going to premiere. I would guess after Money in the Bank because it's like ready to go and they'd want to capitalize on that momentum. But anyway.
Yeah, I would guess that, or unless they're waiting till SummerSlam, but that. Yeah, when was the Lex Express? Was that SummerSlam?
SummerSlam was the Lex Express, yes. And they were supposed to put the title on him, and they didn't. And then everyone was like, oh, what are you doing, right? Yeah, and I'm surprised that they didn't do it on July 4th just because I saw so many of my friends that were excited to spend 4th of July watching the Lex Luger documentary. It seemed like it would have done really well had they done it. Yeah. All right. And yeah, Steve Wilson agreeing with you, by the way. John Cena working the press because of all the family references in FF9. So maybe there is something to this, right?
He's just trolling. I would love that.
You guys, let's just forget about what I said about was it Hong Kong or China or whatever we had to make that like hostage video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that. Children.
Babies. Like, ha, babies? Everyone goes, yeah. Talk about it.
So, all right, on to AEW news. The Observer saying Kenny Omega, he's doing physically better lately, as seen in his title match against Jungle Boy. The biggest issues had been his athletic hernia, but stem cell treatment and PRP, platelet-rich plasma therapy, have helped make a world of difference. So good to hear Kenny Omega is doing better now. And athletic hernia sounds painful AF.
Yeah, it sounds awful. Like a hernia in general sounds terrible. An athletic hernia must be ass, dude. What? Athletic? I don't even. Just imagine every time you just do a sport, you're like, this is happening, and I gotta go at this level. Aye.
It's bad.
To stem cells.
Jon Moxley did an autograph signing in Vegas over the weekend, and he revealed that he has changed up his look. He removed his baseball cap. Jon Moxley has now got a shaved head. Jon Moxley is bald. This was maybe the biggest news of the weekend for AEW. There's already a bunch of memes of bald Jon Moxley out there. He doesn't look. He kind of looks like jacked up Sam Roberts.
Okay. Yeah, cool. His hair was already pretty short, I feel like, so I'm not too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was balding. So Fyter Fest night 1. It's going to go down July 14th in Austin. The only official match so far is Brian Cage defending the FTW Championship against Ricky Starks. And Brian Cage noticed the new poster for the show. And despite being the only official match announced, neither he or Starks are on the poster. He tweeted, Starks versus Cage, only match announced, can't get on the poster after selling out Ricky's hometown, and Austin is the wrestling tent that I built. Hashtag Wrestle Circus. If you don't remember, Wrestle Circus was an indie down in Texas, Austin, Texas, that Brian was the champion at for a long time and was very, very big draw in that area. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to make them the only match, maybe put them on the poster. I could see the gripe
maybe.
there.
Yeah, just maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
just a picture.
Yeah. Abby Nab Paul. He's a machine. It's true. Machine Brian Cage. All right. Lastly, here, before we get to Arturo Ruiz and then we dive into the mailbag, WrestleNomics saying Impact Wrestling only drew 69,000 viewers this past Thursday. The show featured Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers defeating Sami Callihan, Moose, and Chris Sabin. The audience was the lowest in the history of the show. The 18-49 demo, Impact scored a .02, which WrestleNomics noted is the third lowest in the history of the show on Access. The number includes both live, same-day viewers, people who watched on DVR that day, and was likely impacted by a glitch with the guide listing on some systems. Impact had issued a warning to fans on Thursday, noting there was a tech issue with the guide, which was causing the show to not appear correctly or to display in the wrong time slot. The error on those systems caused DVRs to not record the show, and it might have dissuaded some fans from tuning in thinking it wasn't airing. The audience was down 37.8 from the prior week, and year to year, the show was down 54.3% in total viewers. And I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I did notice when I was scrolling, Access TV had some kind of weird, like, program pending or whatever thing. So maybe lost some viewers from DVR. But dude, that's, I mean, 1 and 2 people gone from the year before. That's not great. And not great. And I mean, is it a good look for AEW at this point? If like Kenny's going down there with the Good Brothers and they're doing like the worst ratings they've ever done for the show, I don't really know that that's a good look for them.
Probably not in that business sense. I think optics-wise, seeing Kenny Omega with all those titles is a good look.
Okay.
And you can chalk it up to the snafu, the technical issues, and the holiday weekend. But maybe they need to. I don't know. Maybe they can bounce back and fix it.
All right. Well, we are going to dive to the mailbag now. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the show. Thank you, EJ, for talking the news today. Thank you to Adrian Jaud, a.k.a. Arturo Ruiz. I hope you all really enjoyed that part 1. Part 2 will air later this week, so stick around for that. And, of course, in about 20 minutes over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel, we'll premiere that. You can jump in the chat section, be one of the first to see the Arturo interview, and let the world know what you think about it. All right. We're going to dive in the mailbag. Very lively comment section here today. Continue to comment away. We're going to look at the Twitter feedback first. Then we're going to dive into the Mecha thread here and pull some of your comments up on the screen.
Mecha thread.
The Mecha thread. Today's poll question is about tonight's TV pay-per-view, the NXT Great American Bash. What match you most looking forward to on the show? Is it Cross Gargano for the title? Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly 2 in a traditional wrestling match? LA Knight defending the $1 million title against Cameron Grimes, or is it something else? There are 2 other bouts. With over 250 votes here in just the last hour or so, 56.1 O'Reilly Cole, 24.8 Cross Gargano, 17-1 LA Knight Grimes, and only 2% for the other two bouts that have been announced for the show, which we can get to here in a second. What has you on the hook for tonight, EJ?
I'm going to go Knight versus Grimes, baby. Knight versus Grimes, you get this title here, buddy.
Oh, my God.
You get this, and you come through. You know I love it. This is one of my favorite titles. I love the $1 Million title. I love Cameron Grimes. My last name's Cameron. How could I not?
Wow. I had no idea. How did I not know you had the $1 Million title? I don't know.
Because you don't make enough money, pal.
I had no idea you owned this belt. Where did you get this belt, EJ?
Oh man, some friends got it for me for my birthday. I think you remember David Schwartzbaum. He was one of them. Him and like a couple of other buddies, like years ago, got this for me.
Children's belt or replica? What is this?
This is a replica.
It's
heavy.
Nice.
It's heavy. It's heavy, and it's sharp and not comfortable to wear. So it's just like on a mantle, but it's beautiful. I love it.
Wow.
$1 million. Yeah, got dollar straps all in the back.
Oh my God. I am super jelly. That is incredible. That is beautiful right there, EJ. Yeah.
Not a lot of people get this. Not a lot of people have it.
I went the same. The vote in my heart was LA Knight, Cameron Grimes. I just enjoy these two. I could see the appeal for Cole O'Reilly, but I'm with you, man. Knight Grimes, that's where I'm at. We have a couple write-ins here. Acer by the way, thank you, Acer, for writing in. At B_Syndic95, Cross and Gargano aren't wrestling. It's just a face-off. So, and that was written in a couple times. I went to Wikipedia. Yeah, I think Gargano Cross can be a face-off. So a lot of write-ins here. Okay, so pretty much all the write-ins here were saying this is a face-off, not a match. I apologize. I went to Wikipedia. It's listed as a match. Let me make sure I got this right. Great.
WikiLeaks.
I was confused because I was like, are they doing it this time? Are they not doing it this time? Okay, the Great American Bash, Wikipedia, 2021, and it's been removed. Maybe because of the poll. Maybe because of our poll, it was taken off the Wikipedia page. Wow.
It's finicky like that. People go in and like change things and make things whenever they want. Yeah, wow.
Huh.
That's wild. Living, breathing news.
This morning it was there, and now it is gone, and I'm going to attribute it to the poll. So was I wrong? Yes. But was I right to do it? That's for you to decide, right? So all right. Wait, I closed the poll. Well, anyway, I closed the poll because we were done. All right, let's reach
poll is there. Yeah.
Dino here, Cross and Gargano only a face-off. I got it, okay? Scott Ficca, Knight Grimes, best story going, right? For sure. Acer here, 5,000. EJ Cameron with the $1 Million Championship. Daddy, yeah! I'm sure Liz liked that I did that. And lastly here, Samantha QT, the women's tag match. I think there's going to be a title change. And it is Io and Zoe Starks versus The Way, I believe is the women's tag title match tonight. So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. What a busy 72 hours it has been from the world of pro wrestling. I will be back tomorrow. On tomorrow's show, I'll be joined by another comedian, Brian Wool. Also on the show tomorrow. If you like Polio Del Mar, Polio has been in the chat room here today, co-host on Thursdays. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing the first part of Polio's very first interview for the Wrestling Inc. Daily. Yes, Paul Pratt sat down with Mickie James for over an hour. So tomorrow, we're going to have the first half of that, first half hour or so of Mickie James. We're going to do the second half, I think, next week to kick off the show. Kick off the week. We've been doing longer interviews, trying to bust them up in chunks. They do better on YouTube, whatever it may be. So anyway, tomorrow, come back. Mickie James will be on the show. And if you like the Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all your favorite socials. And, of course, we also have the Wrestling Inc. podcast. That's our sister podcast. Go subscribe to that on your favorite podcast platform and catch it at night after all the major shows. And EJ here, sporting the Wrestling Inc. Daily shirt. That is now a collector's item. You can still get it over on Pro Wrestling Tees, but we have a new logo now. It's not that logo, so you can't get that anymore. So, EJ, what do you want to put over here to wrap up the show today?
Yo, just be nice to people. Take care of the earth. As we've seen, things are on fire everywhere. Make sure you're not adding to the mess. and eat a bagel. Be kind. Be kind.
Bagel. Yes.
Be nice. Be nice. Especially as wrestling fans, you go online and you see it. We talk about things we don't like, but you see just a lot of people not being nice. Be nice. They're all human. We're all humans here. We're all trying.
Yes, it is easy to be nice. Just say something nice to somebody, right? So
Random person.
Give somebody a bagel. You eat a bagel, like I get a bagel, you get a bagel.
Giving people bagels like, I have a gluten allergy. No.
Don't throw the bagels on the sidewalk, though, because the dogs will try to eat them, and maybe it's not good for the dog. And anyway, maybe I'm projecting. Maybe I walk my dog, and there's like too much stuff I have to pull out of her mouth because people are rude, and they just throw their chicken bones on the side of the street, I guess, is a thing that happens in my neighborhood now. So
yeah, sorry, I've been just walking around eating hot wings around your place.
I did not want to throw shade directly at you, but we're going to end on that note because that's what I'm doing. Anyway. All right, everybody. Hey, I'm at Nick_Hausman over on Twitter. Support Sean Waltman. We do Pro Wrestling for Life. New episode Thursday with Josh Barnett. Comes out for free and ad-free tomorrow over on the Patreon. And, of course, he's going to be on the bump tomorrow. So go support Sean there. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked, you didn't